right, good morning, everybody. Today we're looking at a couple tickers. I don't think user is going to be something we're going to play. This looks like a public offering. It's already hit this price or something. So, unless we see some actual movement out of this, I think this is going to be a no-go. Plus, it's not really a price range I really like playing. AGFS isn't looking too bad here. We got lows of about $1.84 with highs of about 272. So we got quite a bit of range here. Price action's pretty good, volume's pretty good, so I'm sure we'll see this open up really nicely. I've got Epics over here because we did see this run up all the way to 650 here in the pre-market. It's down right now to about 430, which is lower than it was about halfway through the day yesterday, right? We played this up until $5 yesterday. Came back down from there to about $4. That's basically where we're sitting today. We've got some good support in this area around 424, so we might see a little bit more of a dip, but we should see this pick back up. NRBO is looking okay here. KZIA is not looking too bad. MCLD is not looking great right now, but the pre-market earlier looked better. View didn't look very good in the middle here, but we're starting to see a little bit more price action and volume, so that's definitely something we want to keep an eye on. We've got UAVS opening up down pretty far here, coming back pretty strong. BBBY here is opening up and looking okay as well. Very bullish looking candle there. KXIN is not doing a whole lot, so we'll check out user. Nothing, we'll close it. AGFS, so far it's holding here. We'll see if it holds. Epic's heading down to that 420 area. We do have NRBO sitting around $10, so that's a little bit high for me, but we might end up playing it. KZIA is starting to run, so this is looking like one of the more bullish stocks right now. So I think we're going to go KZIA. Probably for $1.25 if you can get it. I don't know if you'll quite get $1.25. We just broke into resistance there, so you might have to get a little higher. Ultimately, I'd like to hit 145 off this, which is the top area of resistance there, and we're looking at probably about a 4-cent stop here. So 121 would be the stop if you get in 125. If you get in higher, obviously you're gonna have to move that stop up, but we'll see. As we get close to the end of the month here, I gotta do a lot of scrolling on this ledger to get in place. It's KZIA. Got 127 here. That's not bad. We did see a little bit of a dip here. We saw it come back down to that 127 area. Pretty close to where we kind of want to get in. So depending on your risk tolerance, that should be okay. 127, if you're giving it about 4 cents, you're looking at about a 123 stop out, which isn't too bad. Definitely could be better. Epics might come back here, which would be fantastic to see because we could be seeing this go on another run. Very bullish reversal candle there, so I actually do want to take an early play on Epics here. Just give it the shot, you know? About 425, maybe 430. We'll just say 430. We're going to go for $5 here with a 4... What was the bottom at here? We almost got down to 410, so let's give it that 410. We're going to give it a 20-cent stop, which is pretty huge, but I think I want to see this not break into a new low before I decide to cut it. Or break into a new low by the time I want to cut it, is what I meant, actually. Okay, so we're looking okay here. AGFS still holding. We're seeing a little bit of a range here, but it's right on the support area, and it does look like it kind of wants to break down, but we're seeing some bullish tails here, so keep that in mind. KZIA, we're up to 132 here. I'd say once we hit, I mean, 132, you could probably take a little bit off the table. We don't need a lot. It's 132 KZIA. After 132, I'd like to hit maybe like 137. You know, another 5-cent mark for some profits. NRBO is not really doing much here. Epics did move back up to about 444, around 450. I think I would like to take a little bit off the table here. After 450, we're probably looking at 470. We got a lot of resistance at 480 here. You could move this up to about 476 if you want to, but that's up to you whether or not you want to push it that far. I'm still watching AGFS because these candles are looking very bullish. I just want to see it start to actually make some new highs here. I think it's going to. You know what? I think it's going to. I don't want to miss the run. AGFS. about 250. You might get a little better than 250. We're going to go for about 270 with a 240. We can give it about 244 stop loss. That doesn't really bring us down. You know what? Let's just give it 240. That puts me right where I want to be on this. It looks like we're starting to pick up some steam here. Okay. So with this, we want to be taking profits to the top end here. So 259 or anywhere around there. KZIA nasty red candle. So we hit that 132 area and dropped immediately. At this point, we're likely to stop out because the support area is right there. So we might bounce right off our stop here. So we're going to be stopping out on the remainder, but we'll see what happens here. I should have bought more shares there because my average went down. I made a couple cents, I guess. We'll see if this bounce. This could be a bounce off the 200. That could be good. Epics here still holding, looking pretty decent. Remember, 450 is the area. AGFS is past where we want to take profits. We're 265 on this, so we're going to go ahead and take some. So we're looking at 270 as resistance. If you took a 265 instead of 259, you're probably not really going to want to take some at 270 here, but you can if you want. Beyond that, we're looking at maybe 280 for the next scale out. What was my Epics entry? 431. It looks like we're taking a nasty red candle here. Do we break a new low? I hope not. We had some profit on the table there. I would have liked to say that we're safe here, but it's not looking too great, that's for sure. Stop loss in KZIA, yeah. So we're hitting that 200 here. We're going to see if this holds. If we look at the 2-minute chart, we're nowhere near it, so this could continue to fall down to the support area here at 116, but we'll wait for a bounce. It changes each time. It really depends on how bullish the stock is. So in the case of KZIA, it was looking really good. So I actually didn't scale out a lot. I only scaled out like 35%, I think, about 35% on that first round. So that really brought down my average when we hit stop there. But if I had kind of sensed a little bit more weakness in the stock earlier on, I would have taken an entry that was a little bit better there. We are breaking into a new low here, so we're taking a stop on Epics. Yeah, if I thought it was more bullish, I would have taken less. If I thought it was less bullish, I would have taken more out early on. AGFS looks like it will be coming back down from that 269 area. That's a reversal candle right there. Yeah. MCLD really got not a whole lot going on right now. View's not doing too bad. We saw a nice green candle there, 121 to 137. So we've got a good range here. I'm waiting for this to come back down a little bit, but that one's looking pretty good. UAVS, it's around that 50-cent range. I'm not like too keen on playing that, and the price action is not great on it, so maybe not. BBBY is not looking too bad. KXIN's, yeah, it's okay, I guess. Yeah, no worries. Epics, we'll wait. We'll see here. This could come back. I'm kind of hoping it does because I would like to see Epics go for another run today, but we're gonna have to find some areas of support here that we can rely on. Okay, so looks like we might be finding support in this area here. Actually, we probably have really good support in this area, like really, really good support. So, you know what? This is not looking too bad to take another play for a bounce. Might be a little late on the call now, but I mean, anywhere about 415 would be good. You can't really afford to give it more because obviously you want that stop at the low here, right? So you probably want a $4 stop. To be really safe, you'd want a $4 stop anyway. We're gonna go for, I'd still like to hit about 480. And then we're gonna go for just a $4 stop. So you know what, 15 cents, 10 cents, something like that is fine. 20 cents is pushing it a little bit, but I mean, if you need to take a riskier entry, you could go with a 405 or a little higher, anywhere below that support area, right? We've seen it dip a little bit further, which is kind of a problem, but We just about touched. We hit 279 there, so that's our other scale out point. So taking more profit, AGFY, 280-ish. This one's actually been a pretty big winner right now, so we're doing okay on this one. Hopefully Epix ends up being a win here. I don't want to sit here taking plays on a loser stock all day, so I know we made a lot on this yesterday. I think it was our biggest day on this account yet, so I wanted to give it the chance, right? We're 416 on it right now. Not a bad entry, 415 right there. So that's the preferred entry. We could get a little bit lower on this pullback. I'm not entirely convinced on that, but 415 makes it doable to put that stop down at about $4. We're at 412 now. I'm going to go ahead and take this as an entry. It's good enough for me. AGFS, not AGFY. Did I say AGFY? Yeah. AGFS, not AGFY. KZIA is actually holding on that 200 pretty nicely. We saw a little bounce here, so maybe we take a play on KZIA again. KZIA 20. I'm gonna go for that 140 area with a. We'll give it a 116 stop. So we're gonna give it that 4 cents. That's right on the support area. Of course, I picked the support area as the stop. You could push it down to 115 if you really want to, but depends where you get in. It's KZIA. So we're at 119 right now. This means you can push it down a little bit further. 118, perfect, I'll take it. So if we're at 118 or better, you can move that stop down to that 115. And we're hoping to see this recover here off this support area. So, you know, if you're getting in anywhere here, that's what you're aiming for. Wouldn't put your stop too far below that support area. BBBY is dropping. View still climbing. We might have to just jump in on View. Epic's not doing too bad here. So our stop is $4. Depending where you got in, I guess. You could move it a little lower if you got in a little bit better, but $4 is probably where you want your stop. If this breaks $4, we're likely to see a bigger drop on this and it won't be playable anymore. So this is kind of like the last ditch effort on Epix here to hold at $4. Oh, hope to God it doesn't bounce off that $4 mark. Yep, there it is. All right, so we're probably going to see a breakdown on this, which is unfortunate because this looked like it could have really gone, but we'll just have to hold on to some AGFS here because this one's being bullish and View is still running. This is one of those ones where if you jump in, this could burn you because it's so high. You got rejected on Epix and KZAA, but AGFS was okay. Weird. Is AGFS a bull flag? Hang on, let me try to jump in here on View. I don't want to get in too high, but we don't really have a choice here. So I'm going to say 147, really just wherever you think is best entry here. We're going to go for at least, I'd like to hit 20 cents up here. So 167 with a 144 stop loss. We can really, well, you know what, we can give it a 143. So give it about 4 cents from wherever you get in, right? That's kind of the goal here. And this is a View. Weird ticker. It's just the company name. It looks like we jumped in at the right time here. We're already hitting highs of 158. So we can go ahead and take some profit here because we don't need a whole lot at a dollar mark, right? Taking some profit, View 158. Not a bad place to take some, just to secure it, right? I want to make sure this ends on a win, especially since we've hit a couple pretty crappy plays already. So I mean, like the next one, I would really like to hit 165, but you know, if we start getting close to 165 and it looks like it's slowing down, definitely consider taking some. Epic's looking to go for another dead cat bounce here. I don't think we're going to pay much attention to that. AGFS still looking okay. We took our profit here, so we could probably move this up now to 290. KZI did bounce right off that support area, came back up a little bit. We're going to have to see this break through that 200, which is going to be kind of risky at this point. Where did we get in on KZIA? 117, that's not too bad. So yeah, about 123, you can look at taking some profit to start. MCLD not doing too bad here. UAVS is looking okay. I mean, the price action is really hard to read on this. And KXI not doing anything, so we're going to go ahead and close down some tickers that aren't doing anything. I'm going to leave Epix open for now, but I don't think I'm going to play it again. I'm not liking the range on NRBO right now, so I'm going to close that one. MCLD is looking, it's going, but the thing is, I'm not finding much use in this price action right now. And the volume is very sporadic. We'll move it to the back and close down ES for now. UAVS is up. KZIA still struggling here. We did hit a high there, 121. We just slightly broke through, which is, a start. I'd like to see this completely break through. But we'll have to see. Epix, if it can break this high here, get back up to 422, this could actually start to turn bullish. AGFS still looking good. Let's see here. View down right to stop. So if you didn't take any profits, you're going to be stopping out here. This does look like a healthy pullback. I don't think this is going to be quite the bottom, though. I'd like to find an area of support, but we don't really have anything up this high. This is going to be the same kind of thing as Epix. I can't tell how far it's going to run, and well, I mean, it does have a little bit of support here, I guess. I would say it's more like 144 for support. This is right off the 9 EMA though, so we could be looking at a re-entry here on view. BPBY is looking good. KZIA still holding. We're pushing back up to that 280 zone, which is nice. Yeah, view's not looking bad. We probably have some other tickers we can look at. I want to take a look at user again to see if it's actually moved, which it has. Well, there's been a little bit of movement there. We saw it go from, yeah, no, not worth it. View Acore. Acore went for a nice run here. 49 cents all the way up to 62 cents, back down, hitting VWAP in support here. This could be an area to buy. Let's wait and see though. MACD's still dropping. We'll keep this one open. Okay, maybe GP. We have KXIN, right? We don't have one open. Yeah, that's not looking good anyway. Upwork. Yeah, don't really like stuff like that. RVLP. Doesn't say it's halted, but it went from 174 to 180. No, that shouldn't be a halt either. Okay, so that's just got no volume. HLX. That one went for quite a run today. 620 to, well, again, the range is pretty slim. I don't like that either. We're going to close down that. We're going to close down UAVS because we're not going to play those. BBBY, I'd rather not play. View's heading back up here. Epix hasn't broken the bullishness here, but it's getting there. Bouncing off that support area again. Anywhere above stop is a good place to start securing profits. Well, as long as you have profits, I mean. View is still looking good. I'm thinking we might have to jump back in on it. HTCR, yep. On KZIA, my stop is 115. That is correct. HCTR we can take a look at for sure. MCLD is really going for it. HCTR. Did I misread that? Probably misread it. HTCR. There we go. Early on was not very good, but it's picking up quite a bit. Price action's not looking bad, very consistent. The range is good on it. We'll keep it open. This area here kind of concerns me, but we'll keep it open and we'll watch it for a little bit. MCLD is doing the same thing as View, it's just running. So this is why we kind of left this one open, because it does have a potential to make quite a bit of money. We just need a decent place for an entry. I don't want to pick near the top though. View's still holding, MACD still pointed down. KZIA is going to stop us out as well. Man, this is like not going well today. That was a really tight stop. I could have given it more room, but there was no point in giving it more room, right? Because we're near the bottom of this run. We don't want to be holding these kind of things past the low there. Epix looks maybe like a consolidation here. I haven't quite figured that one out yet. We know AGFS is going to be a winner. The view's looking pretty good. Acor's not looking too bad. You know what? We'll keep that up there too. MCLD is not looking bad. Nice pullback there to 120. I think this is going to be a good place to maybe try it. I think all of these stocks are relatively risky today. I don't see a lot of bullish momentum on these, but we need to keep taking these because one of these is going to stick, right? I think this could probably at least hit up to 135, and then we're going to give this about a 117 stop. So you're going to... So you're looking to give this about 3 cents of room. You could afford about 4 cents on the stock, but I think that would be about the max, depending where you got in. Oops. Whoa, really messed that up. All right, so we're at 130 here. I'm going to start to scale out a little bit. Okay, so that was a very quick win there. I think it could have been, could have been a little bit lower, but I think I managed to get the alert out in time. What did we hit up there? Holy crap, 139? Oh man, we just hit 144 there. Okay, taking some more profits, God. More profits. 145-ish MCLD. Yeah, see, this is why you have to keep taking these chances, right? Because eventually it just kind of pays off on its own. 146, 147. Huge, massive. View's on its way back down here. We're going to see if it bounces. We're building an area of support here at about 144, so we're going to see if that holds. AGFS is doing its own thing. We still have quite a few shares in that, so I'm not too worried. We're at 150 on MCLD. Not quite ready to take some more profits, maybe 155, but this is a huge run. Massive. We just passed it, 158. I can't even switch channels here to read what you guys are saying. It's just going too fast. Yeah, we just ran into 157 here. The spread's only 2 cents, which isn't bad. If you need to market sell to get some of your position out, that's, I mean, like, yeah, sure, it sucks, 2 cents on a, a $1.50 stock, but being up this much, can't really complain too much. It crashed on the sword. You were having no luck with IBKR. ES is being a little dramatic. Yeah, I think the stock market's being a little dramatic. Yeah, Epix went for a dead cat bounce there. So that's why we're staying away from it. HTCR is still moving up. I got to give it that. I mean, we had a lull here for a minute, but it's picking back up and running again. So KZIA is continuing its drop. That's why we're not playing it below that area. Acor could be a play here, 57. Yeah, it's pretty tight range. We're waiting to see what View does. And MCLD's back down to that 144 area, which is fine because honestly, with the amount of scale as we did, we're pretty much out of shares as it is. So if this comes back down to an area where we could possibly load up again, we should probably think about doing that. How big is this win so far? Like 26%. Hate seeing so much red though. Hit 3 stops already. Oh man, we got to get in on HCTR. It's just running. All right, I'm gonna go for it. HTCR, HTCR, yeah. So you can give this about 5 cents of room, depending where you get in. Of course, with these momentum plays, you know, like it's just basically the ticker or the alert is only coming out so that you know what kind of stop loss to give it where you get in. Because you can never really accurately tell someone where to get in on something like this when it's running really fast. So wherever you got in, as long as you got in, you're probably up. I got in fairly high, 178, so I'm looking at a 173 stop, but no, that kind of fits my rule of thumb for momentum plays. I guess I can manage a 173 stop. We're running into a halt with it though, which is, you know, a little risky seeing how high it's gone, but you never know. Could end up being good. So we have some support here at 146. This could be a decent area to get in on this. Where we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trades already. Yeah, it's about right. At least we're seeing some things moving today. AGFS looks like it really needs to break that 180 zone. We need to see that 180 and higher. I want to take some more profits of 190. Gotta wait for the unhalt on this to see where it's at. Hopefully this doesn't just drop into our stop. That would be really unfortunate. All red for you? Yeah, you know what? I believe that. Today's been a rough start for sure. It's been a situation where you have to take profits relatively quickly on some, and then others you kind of want to let it, you know, wait it out. Like MCLD, like if we took all of our profits at where was our first scale out on MCLD? Like 130 or something, 132. You would have made a little bit, but there was a lot more on the table. Obviously, we almost ran it up to 160 there. We're hitting 9 EMA here, which could be a bullish reversal here, but I'm thinking we're more likely on VWAP or maybe even 20 EMA. Views coming back down to that 146 area, which could be good. MCLD looking pretty bullish here on VWAP. You think Apex is going to curl? Yeah, well, there's a good little bounce there, 415. I think this could still be just a dead cat bounce. Remember, we're in this kind of a big area here where if this drops much further, it's coming all the way back down to 350. So we want to get into view. We want to maybe get into MCLD because view's looking good. We definitely want to get in there. So we were saying, you know, view around 146. We're going to go for at least 165. And then maybe a 142 stop. What's 142 put us at? I would prefer a 140 stop, but that's a pretty big one. Let's give it a 140 stop. You know what? We need to give it that room. Even at 140, I'm still thinking this could be too tight, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Acore is another one that's looking good, so make sure you're taking into account all of these tickers here that look pretty good. You can take advantage of something even if I miss it. MCLD bouncing off that 20, looking pretty good as well. We only have one more play though. Which is kind of the problem. Do I trust MCLD with that? We just bounced off that support area here, 126. I'm thinking MCLD. 126. You know, we're aiming for at least the high day, so around 150. You know, 122 stop out. Does that make sense? Does that give me enough room? Yeah, I mean, I guess we're not getting it too far down here, so yeah. Unless we see a big drop and we can get a much better entry, I think 122 is going to be about the max we can give this for a stop. Acore is doing really well. So I'm out of trades, but I'm still gonna be putting in some alerts here. Still waiting to see HTCR unhalted. Halt at 653, so 658 should be unhalting now with a 5-minute halt. basically an unhalt if we're, anywhere above 180. Like I got in and I tried to take profits at 185 and it didn't work. So I'm hoping anywhere around here, like 187, 188, maybe even 190, if we unhalt here, we can look at taking some profits on this. 153, so, well, it was the end of 153, so should be pretty soon here, the unhalts, unless it's a 10-minute. I'm hoping it's not a 10-minute. I hate 10-minute halts. View's looking pretty good here, hitting 153, so we could go ahead and take a little bit. Extended halt? Yeah, don't like that. Taking profits, view 150, I don't know, 155-ish. MCLD giving us about that 126 entry here, 127. So pretty close anyway. We'll see how far down this comes before we take our entry on it. The view still looking good. MCLD hitting that 126 area, so this is where we're kind of looking to get in, but we would like to see this turn green first. Need to be a little safe on this because we don't really have an area of support below, so we're hoping to see that 126 bounce. We're at 125 right now, so it's kind of iffy. Acore still looking fantastic. HTCR still halted. View doing okay. AGFS, we still got some in there. It's not really doing anything right now. Epix does look like it's curling, but I'm not really too certain yet. We did break that last high, which is good, but I'd like to still break that 122 area. Nothing new on the tickers. KZA not doing anything. So MCLD's coming down still, 123. So, I mean, if we're looking for an area of support to buy on, this is where it kind of gets tough, right? Because we're looking basically at 118. So this may drop down to 118 before we see any sort of area that we want to get in at. I should probably say waiting on entry for MCLD, find the bottom. Yeah, Acor's just running. Yeah, this has been a pretty straight momentum play right there. AGFS still holding on that line. HTCR. So we're looking at what, 703 here for an unhalt. Might turn around here. We will see. All right, so we're breaking out on view here. That's nice. That's good to see. 156. I'd like to at least hit probably at least 160 before I scale out any more. All right, it's given us basically 160 here, so we can look at scaling out. Taking more profit. View 159. Bands are starting to tighten a little bit, which is usually when you want to start thinking about taking some profits off the table. And let's see. McLeod here. It's dropping down to that 121 area. So we're still seeing it drop. We're seeing some tails on these, which is a good sign. That means we've got some buying happening, but it's not enough right now. So still waiting on this. View touches 160. It's running to that 165 area. Acore with a nasty drop. This could be a good opportunity. Yeah, we could see some support in that 155 area. I think I'm going to go ahead and make a call on that. Acore 155. I'm going to go for that 165. No, these are not 155. Acore 0.55, 0.65 with a 0.53. Give it 2 cents. That makes sense. That's bottom of 5.3 right there. We're up at 5.7 currently. 0.58. We'll take some profit here. HTCR opens up really high here, 220. Make sure you're securing some profit. HTCR opens 220, take profits. Spread's not bad. That was a huge jump. That was a win. 178 to about 210 here. And we're still going. 218, bullish candle. Wow, look at that volatility. View crosses PT here, so we're 168, almost 170. This is view, take profit, taking profits. 170-ish. Looking good. .59. We're looking good there. MCLD continues to drop, so we did hit that 118 support area. We're going to see if it holds here. We saw a green candle here. That's a start. Definitely better than what we've been seeing so far off this. HTCR honestly still hit 220 there. Could have taken a little bit more off the table. You're at 147 on TradingView. Yeah. Yeah, 147. So we're looking pretty good on that. We just hit 171. HTCR still lots of volatility here. This could end up running again. Acor's back down a little bit. So I ended up taking the Acor play instead of the MCLD because MCLD was taking too long to find its zone. I may regret this because this one had a big run. But it did make a little bit of profit on Acor so far, so it's okay. I am going to kick myself, though, if this one runs, because I just wasn't patient enough. And I also don't really want to start picking and choosing which alerts I take and which ones I don't during the day. So, I mean, the Acor one happened, the MCLD one didn't. So, that's just how it rolls, I guess. But this is starting to look good. I'll just put out a new alert when I'm thinking it's a good entry, because I don't want to just say getting in here and people have to scroll up to find it. Up 0.13%, calling it. You know what? Sometimes it's just good to end it green. Yep, AGFS knifed. Definitely. We were in at 250 here, so, you know, we're looking at the 240 stop. We still have lots of room. HTCR coming down a little bit, probably to VWAP here. Acor making that push back up to 0.58. I'm hoping to see this at that 0.62 level at least. MCLD is looking okay for a bounce here, so I think this is the point where I'd make the call. MCLD 120. I would say you probably need to get in around 120. You're probably going to be wanting to take this up to 145. And then a 1, you know, you're probably looking about a 115 stop. It is quite a bit of room, but this stock kind of needs it. Scale out around 130, 140, and then 150. Epic's at 435. Yeah, it did. Looks like it's coming back. It did see a little bit of resistance there, 434. So we'll see if it breaks through that. HTCR going for it again. We're seeing 240 here. Take some profits on it. And this is why we let things run a little bit. Pretty massive play there. What are we up on? HTCR so far? 32%. So it's definitely the biggest play of the day. Not looking too bad. So almost up to 240 there. View's still looking okay, honestly. AGFS kind of iffy, but we got a long ways down to go. HTCR back to that 235 area. We're just pushing 240 here. Let's see if it can break it. It was a nice play. Yeah, it's working out real nice. MCLD kicking myself. I'm kicking myself now. Should have just waited for that A course nice and slow, and then this one just rockets up to 130. That's take profit one there. So take some profit if you're in it. A core looks like it might break down from here. We got some profit out of it. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more out of it, but 4 cents isn't the end of the world. View breaking to new highs here, hitting 174. Probably next take profit on this would be, what do we take at 170? So probably 180. HCTR back down a little bit. I think the next area is probably going to be about 255. If it, of course, if it reaches that. MCLD, nice. Someone asked about a bull flag earlier. I can't even remember what stock it was. Things were moving too fast there, but yeah, I missed that. Probably wouldn't even be able to find the right area now anyway. We're almost at that 180 mark on view actually. We hit 179 there. So again, you can go ahead and scale some out if you're still in it. We're looking good there. HGCR, nice drop back down to this base support area of $2, but I don't think it'll hold if it breaks down much further. MCLD hitting that 130 area. KZA not doing a whole lot here. Epic's back down, getting rejected off that resistance. Going to be pushing 180 here on view. I wish I could get the toolbar off of all of these other screens because I accidentally click them all the time. Got too many screens with too many toolbars. 180 right there. Should you drop that 70% to less? If you're going with like a static scaling out, yeah, I would probably lower it a little bit. So it really depends on your conviction in the trade, right? If you're not very confident in a trade, you're probably going to want to scale out harder on the first one and then less on the second and third and so on. But if you're confident in something like, HCTR was a good example of something that maybe you took at least 50% when it bounced up to 220, which would be a reasonable reaction because you're already up so much. And then after that, maybe you're scaling out more when it hits 230, 240, like, well, not more than 50%, but you're scaling out, like another 25 or 30% because this has already ran up so much. Where something like, let's take View for instance, is like super consistent, right? We see this, we know it's going to go here from that 146 area because we see good support. It starts to break out, so we get around that 160 area and you take some profit. Or I can't remember when we took profit first on this. Maybe it was less than that. We're at 190 here, so this is another good place to take profit. After this, I'm almost out of shares. I got a tiny bit left, so we're gonna go ahead and see where this goes, I guess. Maybe we hit $2 on it. But with something like this where it's looking very consistent and you're seeing, really readable price action and you can kind of determine this is still going to go, you start to think about scaling out less and waiting for the bigger move. And then when you start to see, more resistance and you're not really seeing it move as much, that's kind of when you're like, okay, maybe I should take some more out now before it comes down, right? So I don't really like the static scale out. I know that kind of controls the emotions behind it and it's good for new people, but if you can read price action and you can read a chart pretty well and you can kind of determine where those levels are going to be, it kind of makes it easier to maximize those profits. And I think that's the big problem with the scaling out method is you can really hurt your profits if you take too much out too early, but at the same time it can also save you, right? You're almost hitting 195 here on view. can save you in terms of like, like we've had quite a few stocks today that hit that first PT. Well, actually, we didn't even have a lot of stocks that hit that first PT. I'm lying. Today we actually just ran into stop a bunch of times without taking any profit. But I think KZIA was that the trade, the first KZIA trade. Do I still have that open? Yeah. So we hit our first area of 132 here. I didn't take out as much as I should have. I think I can't remember what I said I took out now, but it wasn't a lot. It was less than 50%, and I should have at least taken 50% there, because we weren't really seeing a ton of momentum, and I wasn't using my brain, so should have scaled out more there because I wasn't super confident in it, but I didn't, and then of course we hit the stop, and that brought down my average quite a bit, so it's almost a break even trade at that point. Um, but it really depends on the stock and how it's looking and what it's doing. It's you need to be able to develop like a risk profile for each stock as it's running. And there's a lot of different things that go into a risk profile, right? You got to look at the price action and see how readable it is and how much it's following that price action. Volume and consistency, you want to see how consistent it is. And then, of course, you need to know the news behind the stock too, why it's running. That adds to the risk profile as well. And then, of course, you always run into things where, a stock might run up from, like View could run up from, $1.20 to $2 here. And then halfway through the day, they offer a public offering at, $1.50 or something. So that instantly tanks the stock. I mean, that could actually be the case here. I was kind of making that up though. And that kind of ruins it anyway, right? So you have to be, the higher up you go, the less you want to be holding, I guess. Anything looking good to get into? Possibly View here, honestly. 140. This is looking pretty good here, but I mean, like, you might end up taking this all the way down to the 200. I'm not too convinced on View right this second. I don't want to end up catching a knife here. HTCR is probably a no-go. Acore could possibly be decent. The volume's a little lower though, so I don't want to make a call on that either. MCLD, another possibility because we are still seeing that hold at that 118 level. So this could be a possible play here, taking it from about 120 to at least 130. This is a case where I'd say maybe this time make sure you take out at least 50% at 130 because you don't know how high this is going to go. I'd say like with the bands kind of tightening here, this is definitely a good sign. And this could end up running past 130, so I would be scaling at about 50% at 130. And View suspended. Yeah. It's going to be SSR'd. Epic's held 420. This time, yeah, it did. That's good. That's good. This could be on its way up then. We need to see this break a new high, though, before another bounce. If we see it come back down to, like, that 410 level, it's probably just ranging for now. Yep, I figured it'd be SSR'd. Seems like a too little too late though to SSR something after it drops so dramatically. Like who's gonna short it after it's dropped from 193 to 138, right? I wouldn't. I'd say that's way too high risk. You have too many bag holders up here. It's gonna come back up. Or it should come back up anyway. Exactly, and that's what I'm thinking. View could be more a bounce play than anything else, but you'd have to see how it unhalts and where it unhalts, and we'll have to make that judgment when the time comes. Like if it drops past the 200, probably not worth touching. Until at least 120. If it hits 120, you might take the risk of jumping back in on it. Kind of a bullish candles here, but I don't think this is anything more than a dead cat bounce. Where did we halt last time? It was 185. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't particularly like HTCR right this second. KZIA is just dead, so I wouldn't worry about that. Epics maybe. BBBY is just honestly this is a trap for retail traders, right? Because people see this and it looks like a pretty consistent pattern, and maybe it is a consistent pattern, and that's fine, but it's really no money here going from $5 to like 520 at the very, not even hitting 520. So This one's garbage. MCLD, not looking great now. Bands were tightening. It looks like it's decided where it's going, and it's going down. Volume's pretty significantly lower right now, so I wouldn't be worried about touching that. HEFS has started gaining a little bit of volume. It looks like it's tapering off again. Still holding on to a little bit of this. Nothing worth really touching there either. Yeah, if anything, Acor. Acor looks the best right now. Obviously not View, it's halted down. HGCR is making that push, breaking that last candle, or last down candle there. Bearish candle. Almost at that $2 mark again. So if it hits $2, you might be in an area to take a play. I think HGCR is starting to get there. Acor's a play around that 155, 156 area. HGCR pushes for $2. 206. All right, well, you know what? It's going back up. Time to make a call on it, I guess. This could be seeing a pullback here, so $2, go for 240, and then a 195 stop, 194 stop, something like that. It's really tight. You could get stopped out very quickly here, so that's the downside to this, right? Can't afford to give it a lot of room because it's a $2 stock, but man, oh man, can you make a lot of money very, very quickly here? Man, my fees on Acor are $10 each way. That sucks. That's a lot. So we saw this up to 212. That's not bad. Make sure you're scaling out profits on something like this, like every 8 to 10 cents. You don't need more than that. So if you didn't get in before the jump, when I said $2 breaking point would be a good time to buy in. If you got in then, you probably would have scaled out by 212. If you didn't get in, now I'd be a little more cautious. That was a very big pullback back down to that $2 level, and we will see some resistance here. So we'll see. If we can break above that, 201 level, it could be good for another go here, but as it stands, if you haven't scaled anything out and you're in it, be a little worried, I guess. Yeah, I'm talking about HTCR, yeah. Scaling out points. 212, maybe 225, 240-ish, something like that. Maybe 235 instead of 240. Maybe even 232. View on halts, it's looking okay here. I'd like to see that MACD start to turn around though, so we could give this a minute and see. MCLD bouncing back from what looks like maybe a very small area of support. Yeah, view still looking kind of iffy. We got buyers stepping up at 141. Not enough. People still closing out positions. It's going to find a bottom here. It's just a matter of where. If anyone is still in KZIA, but let's keep dropping. You took a short. That's a good idea. Yeah, taking a short's a good idea. And like I said, if it broke down from that last area of support, it's most likely going to keep dropping, and it really has, so. I don't particularly like calling short plays, but when I call that something's an area to not get in, that's usually a good time to short. HGCR is like literally all over the place. It's holding that $2 level not too bad though. could be worth maybe jumping back in. Obviously, if you had that 190, 194 stop, you're stopping out. So you have the 200 here on view. This could be an area to take it, but I'd like to see this again. We need to see this turn around. We need to see a little bit of a pickup in buying volume. Let's see if HTCR can hold the 20. No. Okay, so it's giving it up. The last area of support here is going to be this 179 that it built. You know, so far, view's holding here. And all the charts basically look the same. Okay, so it's right at the bottom here, 178, 179. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I don't think anyone necessarily gets, you know, salty if they think of going long and you think of going short or whatever, you know. Someone's always going to be right and someone's always going to be wrong. Or maybe you're both right. If you got a big enough stop on it, maybe you both could be right on that trade. I've only seen one person get salty, and that was that guy from like a week or two ago who joined and called, I think it was Acor too. I think he said Acor was going to run. When was that? Because I remember, I think it was, yeah, it was around here. Maybe it was, no, it was this day. Yeah, it was this day. He said it was going to run, then immediately opened and dropped like a crazy amount. And then he got extra salty. Here still in Apex long. Well, you know what? It could pay off. I still think this stock has a lot more to give because it did reach almost 650, right? And if you're down to 420 right now, I think there's going to be a lunch hour rally on this. It'll probably jump up quite a bit. View looking good. So, you know, as we were talking about that, we were talking about how this could be a potential play. So put that out there. View. But 130, whoa, that was not anywhere near a number. 135. You know, even just hitting 155 would be good on this. And then a 130 stop out is right below that 200. I mean, you could give it a little bit more. That would basically be the plan right there. And HTCR, you know what? It did, the bodies basically stayed above the low here. So it did bounce back up again. This could be bullish. Again, it's very risky to be playing this stock because of how big these candles are, like 204 all the way down to 186. You can't have a stop that big. So, I mean, I guess your best bet would be to buy in on a drop. I mean, not, you don't necessarily want to be buying it on a drop, but with a stock like this, I guess that kind of makes your odds of stopping out on it a little bit less. And then, you know what, it does recover pretty quickly too. So you do have a chance of, you know, making some cash on it pretty quickly. View's not looking bad. AGFS isn't looking too bad. Acor's still doing its thing, which is honestly not a lot, but still holding on to a little bit of AGFS and a little bit of Acor. HTCR is pretty much done for me, but I mean, there's going to be opportunities in the afternoon, I'm sure. MCLD is included in that, and same with Epix. I think Epix could definitely make the recovery, at least back up to that 480 zone, I think. But we're pretty much out of time, so I'm going to go with the money board here. Okay. So we did actually secure $1,000 again today. So we're kind of breaking that threshold now. We're making about $1,000 a day. It only took us getting to about $20,000 to do that. About 4.7%. So You know, if we do have a crappy day, it's going to be about 500 bucks, or should be around 500 bucks unless it's really crappy. Win rate went down to 83.1% because we took a buttload of losses today. We took a 4.9% on Epics, 2.4% on Epics, and then a 1.7 on KZIA. So, you know, we did okay. We made 100% on it, but we did. I shouldn't have pushed Epics so hard. That was my mistake to push that. I thought that was going to be a little more bullish early. KZIA, I probably could have scaled out harder, made a little bit off that. The rest of these turned out okay. Acore still kind of going, and you know, View was really good. HTCR was awesome. But yeah, besides that, I mean, y'all know what stocks should be getting played. Just watch for volume. You know, Acore doesn't really have a lot of volume right now. HTCR still has lots. Look at that, nice bounce to 216. So if you bought on the low here, so 190 or anywhere around that 190 area, you could have brought that up to 216, made a huge amount of money. It's coming back down to a low here, 184, another good place to buy in. And then, you know, you just keep that stop relatively tight. And if you stop out, you stop out. And it's one of those things where if you're on a margin account, you have unlimited trades, this is kind of worth the risk because you can stop out 3-4 times. And the second you get a candle like this one here, you can make it all back. So it's definitely worth playing. It's just, you know, a lot more added risk. So just got to be a little bit aware of that. But anyways, guys, I think that's it for me. So I'm going to hop off. Hopefully y'all made some money today. And if not, I hope the afternoon is better for you. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Take care, guys.